Right, this is technically my June update. If you saw the video I posted at the weekend, I was a little bit late in taking it. I was kind of hoping I could take a video and talk about the car before I loaded it up on the trailer. But due to crazy roadworks, I was running about an hour late for everything, so had to just crack on. So all I had time for was a quick walk around video at the show to let you guys know. But here we are, so a couple of days late, but yeah. So what have I achieved? All the bodywork is finished. Finally, all the sanding is done. It looks smashing. It looks so good. Managed to get some decals done at 2020 Designs, I think that's what they're called, over in Gloucester. Got some sponsors on there. Got the name of the car on there, the Moggy, as that tends to be what I call it most of the time. My friend Gaz designed that in about 5 minutes flat, and it was just the design I loved the most, really. I couldn't choose anything else. It just looked awesome. I feel it resonates well with the car, because before I did all of this and rebuilt the thing completely, it used to be brush painted. It was always a bit of a running joke that it looked horrendous, so it kind of felt right to do a sticker in sort of a brush effect. Just took it back to its roots, sort of thing. So what have I actually achieved? So the car's on wheels and sat on the ground, so you can actually see it at its sort of height. All the coilovers still need adjusting. The panel rod on the back definitely wants adjusting. This side is very close to the wing, whereas the other side you could probably park a bus in it. He doesn't look off on the prop shaft, but I'll have to have a good little study of what's going on down there. Front end, we are miles low, and I have cranked the coilovers to get it back up, but sadly it's not. And after doing a bit of research into the spring weights and stuff, we are way too soft on the front end, so gonna have to order some new springs from Nitron, which won't be a problem. It gives us a spare set for the back if anything. But yeah, they're considerably the wrong weight, so we'll sort that. Let's talk about inside. I actually have the gearbox cowl on at the moment because it's freshly back from the show. This side of the car's actually empty, and oh, I've got my handles on. So these are my release handles. They're done on both sides now. I think I might have touched on the practice ones I did on the other door. So here's the car with its gearbox cowl on for once. That's all got to come back off because we haven't actually ran the transmission lines yet. But I think a mate from work's going to pop over next week. We're going to have a little look at that. Because he's very good at bending hard hydraulic pipes, and he makes hydraulic hoses. I'd like to run it all in hard line really as best I can, for the simple fact that you never get any problems. You're never going to get one of those bursts that are rated for extremely high pressure, and obviously that's not what we're running. I've seen a few cars in the past, end up having accidents from, having hoses that are Jubilee clipped on, and then being the reason that the transmission hose pops off because of a 20p part, and they all go under their tyres. So I don't really want any of that happening. We actually have brakes as well. We actually have brake pressure. So about what I thought, that it wouldn't actually ever move close to the wall, but I couldn't risk it. I wanted the whole length of the movement if I ever needed it. If we ever break anything, if a line ever goes, you're guaranteed to have enough motion. I really should plan these videos before I start taking them. I need to adjust the hole I've done as well in the transmission tunnel for the transmission line, because you have to feed it all the way from this end, and that's a pain. So I'm going to open that hole up a bit bigger so I can slide this end out. This end has a little tab on him for the that bolts to the housing of the shifter. So I'll open that hole up a bit, make that a bit better. This is a little bit tight as well, which I don't really like. Neatened up the wiring in the boot. 2 more sponsor stickers on the back. Badges are on as well. This one's actually broken, which is weird. I don't really know what caused that to happen. That was a brand new badge. So the boot's looking a little bit more neat. Tidied up some of the wiring, taped a bit more of it up. Taking all my rubbish out. I just noticed the power's on. It's alright, we'll show you the headlights and lights working. I'm not going to squeeze in because the wheel's in. So give that a flick. Try to squeeze in. Let me go auxiliary. 2 side lights. So that's my dash all nicely lit up. Indicators work. High beam light works. Oh, squeeze out. Sadly, one of the side light bulbs have gone already. Well, I say that, I think it was gone to start with actually, I just haven't got around to replacing it. But I really like these sort of halo rings, they look really good on these sort of cars. So these are my Bonnet, what do you call them, like hold downs, these little black buttons, which I think are really cool. You just give them a poke, it pops and it releases it all. Get my fingers under. And here's under here, a little bit tidier than usual. So wiring on both sides is running down the rails out the way. And we've got our wipers fitted. And all the wiper linkage and copper stuff is all underneath out the way. And there's 2 or 3 coils of cable still to run. The white one goes to the coil. The blue one over on the left is for the alternator, and the brown one I think is for the horn. I need to check my wiring diagram. It's either for the horn or for the line lock, I can't remember. But as you can see, these coils are wound right down. So as I'll go, especially this one, I just kept cranking this one and it wasn't making too much of a difference, which is a bit strange. Well, it's not really strange, they're too heavy. Oh, there's the trans cooler. And to close these back up again, simply just give them a little push. Let's turn those lights off. What was I thinking? I've just finished tango in the whole car, because over at the show we weren't too far from trees. It was very windy and the car was absolutely plastered in tree sap. You can still see it on the windows. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but yeah, you can see how speckled it all is, and all of the car was. But it seems I got it all with the tango, which is amazing. So I'm trying to think what else needs to be said really. I'm loving the look of it basically. So the next jobs that have to happen is I'm gonna take all the front back off. Yeah, take most of the front back off. I'll take the bonnet off, take the wings off, probably just some more room. And it's engine rebuild time. Taking all that off will make it easier as well to do the transmission lines, so we can get in there. But yeah, it's engine build time. Got to hassle a mate for a bit of help, but that should be the next next big step. New coilovers, engine build, transmission lines, plumb the engine, plumb the fuel lines, and I think that's about it. That should be about it, hopefully. Who really knows? And then I'll probably find other jobs I want to do. Oh, just the back axle probably. Yeah. Can't really think what else has happened. But yeah, the car got a lot of interest at the weekend, which was really nice. Even won a trophy for best custom engine bay, which was really cool. Especially as the engine's not complete or running. I think a lot of people gave me that more for the fact of the amount of engineering that's in there, and it is quite a quite clever, so that's cool. I just noticed that I spent hours and hours. I know I said in the last video how I was really pleased with the gaps and stuff. I then realised when we put the bonnet on how horrendous some of the other gaps were. These ones that ran up either side of the bonnet were massively different. The one on the left is still pretty much the same, but this one on the right was big. It was really bad. So I had to readjust how that wing is mounted, pull him back in a bit. The bonnet line there is a bit weird, but I think that's more due to the fact that there seems to be a bow in the actual front bumper. So, sorry, not the front bumper, sorry, the front of the bonnet, which I don't think the camera will pick up that well, but it seems, you'll probably find it's had a bump in its life and it's thrown that off. We have picked up a spare bonnet at the weekend, cheeky 20 quid, which I'm happy with. So the plan's going to be that this one, we're probably going to cut a big hole in the top of it and stick the bonnet scoop on him. Then the other bonnet can be the nice standard bonnet, depending on how I fancy showing the car that day. Yeah, I don't think there's much more to say. I don't know how much I'm going to get done this next month is probably the big thing, because I need a bit of time off this to crack on with life. Me and Gaz have been pouring our time into this to get it done for the Morris Minor National Rally, and we need a break. I've got a house to look after and a back garden that won't stop growing, so I need to deal with that and sort that and tidy all that up. And this coming weekend, well, literally in 2 days' time, I'm off to Santa Pod for a long weekend, so I just don't have time. At the moment. So this month's probably going to be quite a quiet one. I'll still do a video at the end of it. I'm sure I'll remember more things to say. And I will come out and do some little bits, probably get the front end off. I think Paul has said he will come out and we'll start mocking up the transmission coolers and working out where we're going to run the pipes, what I need to order or get through work, as my work is sponsoring me, Hydro Products. So we should be able to get some of the stuff from them. And go on from there. So pretty cool. But yeah, have a lot of this month off, July. August we'll probably smash it out again on this, and then half of September I'm away. But I would love to have this car running in August. That's my loose goal in my head. That would be really cool to actually get it to make a noise. So we'll have to see what happens. So we'll find out. Stay tuned, I guess. I did think of one other thing we did. We've put the bonnet on sort of quick release clevis pins. So I'm just pull those pins out and slide the rods out and take the bonnet straight off. Thought that was more for the fact that it's hard to open it up and get in there and do stuff. We did get a pair of like sliding latches to hold the bonnet up and the boot up. One will easily work on the boot because they are basically built for those. But bonnet wise, we're trying to work out where to mount it to, and that seems quite tricky to find the perfect spot, because a lot of the bar that runs across the bonnet under a Morris Minor, into this Morris Minor, almost touches the rocker covers. So a lot of the places are out the question there, and you need to run the rod in a straight line, and there's not directly somewhere I can connect it to. So go have a look at it. We are also looking at gas struts. That might be an idea, because you can put a bit more of a bend on those. Well, not a bend as such, but you can run them at a bit more of an angle than I could have run the latch, the slidey system, more for the fact that they work on little balls and stuff that they physically clip to. But I also picked up a standard Morris Minor bonnet hinge, you know, the sort of latch that holds the bonnet up, because it still has its standard like latch pinhole on the actual bonnet. I'll show you. So they're just sitting there chatting. Yes, so we have this standard rod thing, and they normally just run straight out, so I'm hoping I'll be able to just mount it somewhere around here. But this whole rod sits very close to the rocker covers. I was hoping I could sort of just come off from over like here where we would miss between the rocker covers and the bar there, and like come down straight to somewhere on here. But it also runs the risk that the bonnet would only be sort of like that sort of height open, which would be useless as well. So we'll look back at it. We're going to study that, do a bit of thinking. I'm thinking the standard latch would work, and you can run it on clevis pins again. So then when we flip the other bonnet in, you'd just be able to clip them straight to the same thing, and you'd be rocking and rolling really. But it's all food for thought. But we'll strip it all off and look at it and decide. Right, that's that for this month. I'll post another video at the end of next month, and hopefully I've achieved something and I haven't just spent it all relaxing and sleeping and doing whatever I do that isn't this. Right, take it easy. Have a good month.